I'm going to hop up on my virtual soapbox here right now, because I am such a firm believer in the medium and the message going hand in hand. And I think as writers, we often don't think as much as we should about what happens to our story when it moves to a different medium. And so what you're essentially saying is that you are planning to adjust the message, which is like the verbiage of the story, in order to better suit the medium, which is the audio medium, which I think is like, yes, absolutely, 100, like 1,000% yes. I am a firm believer that whenever we move from one medium to another, the story should somehow be elevated by the newer medium. So what you're talking about would elevate it to that newer medium. The example I often give is the movie of The Wizard of Oz, which is very different from the book. We're not just talking about ruby slippers versus silver shoes. There's a whole lot of differences. But one of the things that elevates that film that you could never capture on the page is the fact that it goes from black and white to color. And if you think about it, I wish I could be a fly on the wall when that movie first came out, because it was one of the very first, I think that and Gone with the Wind both came out around the same time. And they were the first color films. Imagine being in that audience and you're sitting there. And I remember watching The Wizard of Oz when I was a kid, and the first like 20 minutes of the movie, I'm like, what the heck? It's still in black and white. What kind of an old timer movie is this? And I was really grumpy 6-year-old because I did it to be all ruby slippers and Emerald City. And then, of course, when they opened that door, I remember that feeling of, you can't get that on the pages of a book. You can only do that with a film. And so, like, do that when you have a story that you're moving to a different medium. It shouldn't just be a literal translation word for word from one medium to the other. It needs to take that to a whole other level.